Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking juicy hydrating serums. Oh, yes. I love hydrating skincare, and summer is almost here, and that is when I am leaning in heavily to my really replenishing, deeply hydrating skincare products that aren't heavy and don't overwhelm my skin because I don't have time for really thick, heavy skincare layers in hot and humid weather. So that's what today's video is all about. It's about those really replenishing serums that don't feel too heavy, but really make your skin juicy and plump. So if you're looking to switch up your skincare routine to lighter hydrating products, definitely watch the video. We're gonna jump in just a second, but I did do a video a couple of weeks ago about juicy and plump moisturizers for summer. So definitely check that one out at the end of the video if you're looking to switch things up. All right, let's dive into these juicy serums. Give the video a big thumbs up and let's get started. First up, Sioris, a calming day ampoule. Now this is something I discovered quite a few years ago, and I actually started using it in summertime, and that's why I really know that this is so light and refreshing on the skin. But beyond just the texture and the hydration factor, this actually has some really interesting ingredients for healthy skin. So the main ingredient here is 42% of magnolia berry extract. So it's also known as Chinese 5-fruit extract, and it is so good for your skin. It's got a really great calming effect. It's fantastic for anti-inflammation. It reduces redness on the skin and really just enhances that healthy skin glow. It makes your skin look more even toned and more smooth, but it's also jam-packed full of things like polyphenols, phytosterols. It's got flavonoids in it as well as polysaccharides, and these really just help overall with the health of our skin. It also has antioxidant content, which really helps to protect the skin from environmental stressors. So overall, just a really skin healthy ingredient. There's a good amount in here, along with other ingredients like centella. We have aloe, sodium hyaluronic, and calendula to really enhance that calming ability of this serum. So I love how lightweight this serum is. It's still a gel textured serum. It's very runny though, and it has a little bit more thinness to it, but don't mistake that for not packing a hydration punch. Once you start to work this into your skin, you're gonna feel that it dives a little deeper into the skin and really provides that refreshing hydration, but it's just done in a lightweight, not thick kind of way. So it really replenishes the skin. It feels so breathable and so light. Like I said, I really relied on this a couple of years ago, and where I live, it gets hot and humid, which is just I'll take dry heat any day, but the humidity, the wetness in the air just makes everything feel icky. And if you have any type of thick layer, a little bit of humidity and a little bit of sweat, ugh. Your skin just feels like it's melting off. All the skincare layers just feel like it sits on top. This is not that type of serum. Like I said, I just love how lightweight this is, how hydrating this is. I like that this has just that nice, gentle, calming kind of effect. And with so many great antioxidants in this too, it really does make it a efficient serum to build into a morning time routine alongside of your sunscreen for days when you're getting a lot of sun. Next, let's talk about the Torriden Dive In Serum. And I really like this because it actually packs so much hyaluronic acid into the serum without making it really thick and heavy. So the humectants in here include glycerin and panthenol, and then we have 5 different types of hyaluronic acid. And what I also like about this serum is they're not just throwing in good old hyaluronic acid. They're using 5 different types at different molecular weights. Now this is important because you may know that hyaluronic acid has a pretty big molecule that doesn't penetrate deeply into the skin. Different molecular weights mean different sizes of that molecule. They basically go in and chop it up to make it smaller. And so essentially we're getting hyaluronic acid hydration at all different levels within the skin, getting in a little bit deeper, getting into the middle layers, getting up to the top, and that is really going to translate into a juicy, plumping, hydrating type of serum. I also like that this formula has a little bit of a barrier supportive edge to it too. We have ceramide NP in here, along with some cholesterol, which are some really great essential building blocks to your skin's moisture barrier. And I also like that they've included madecassoside and madecassic acid. These are the compounds in centella that are really good for healing up the skin, calming it, soothing inflammation on the skin. So not only do we have like juicy plumpness, we're also getting a little bit of that soothing action. We're also getting some of that barrier supportive action, making it a really nice kind of well-rounded type of serum. Now I love the texture of this because like I said, this is not moisturizing and balancing and like too thick. This actually, while being still gel-like, it's super runny. It actually looks a lot like the Sioris Ampoule, but it has a little bit more body to it than Sioris. And that little extra body, that little extra something really makes your skin so plump. Like when I use a serum like this, like I love to do this to my cheeks because I love the sensation of getting that like firm, smooth, plump, really deeply replenished skin without lots of heavy layers, lots of thick types of textures. I love when I can achieve it in something thinner in summertime. So this texture is also not sticky in the finish. A lot of hyaluronic acid products have a tacky kind of feel to it. This doesn't dry sticky on the skin at all. It actually absorbs in really nicely, and it does have that like kind of like deep down sensation. I mean, this is a hyaluronic acid serum that I think oily folks will actually like because it really sidesteps a lot of those like kind of weirder characteristics that you find with other hyaluronic acid types of serums. But just to keep your barrier strong and keep your skin plumped up, this is a great choice at a great value because this is a huge 100 milliliter serum. Next is Vegreen Nature Mucin Serum. Now, when you think about deeply hydrating ingredients, especially if you're thinking like K-beauty specific ingredients, you're probably going to think about snail, right? Talk about a juicy hydrating ingredient. Snail is so good at all of that. But for some people, I totally get it. Like I love snail, but I get that like it could have an ick factor for some people. And if you want to stick vegan with your skincare ingredients, like snail's not going to cut it, right? So don't worry though, you have options. You don't have to feel the FOMO. You just need to look for products that contain nature mucin or phytomucin. So mucin isn't just like a snail-centric thing. Mucin can actually be derived from many different sources, including a multitude of plant-based sources. So Vegreen, their nature mucin is actually yam extract. So the mucin from yam is really similar to the mucin from snail. It has those really wonderful soothing anti-inflammation benefits. It's also deeply hydrating and replenishing for the skin, but it also has snail's wound healing abilities. And that's really great, you know, if you're suffering with like maybe some breakouts, your skin needs to be mended from popped pimples. But wound healing abilities, the way that your wounds are being healed is that you're stimulating collagen and elastin production on the skin. So even if you don't have maybe say popped pimples or, you know, maybe a wound on your face, the collagen and elastin stimulating abilities of mucin actually do translate to some well-aging benefits for the skin too. Rounding out the ingredients here, we have panthenol, niacinamide, and ceramide NP, and then we have a whole host of peptides. So Vegreen's really kind of leaning into the yam extract, the phytomucin's abilities to give you some well-aging benefits. So first off, they're using acetylhexapeptide 8, which is a Botox-like peptide. It's going to give you like a quick firmness on the skin. We also have copper tripeptide 1, which is really great for targeting fine lines and wrinkles on the skin by stimulating collagen production. Other peptides include palmitoyl pentapeptide 4, which is also known as matrixyl, another fine line and wrinkle targeting peptide. And then we have matrixyl 3000, which is actually 2 peptides that is also kind of like the next generation of matrixyl, really helping to target fine lines, tone, and texture on the skin. This has a bouncy gel texture that, you know, on first glance is going to look really similar to snail mucin, but there are some key differences here that I actually think make phytomucin and this Vegreen serum really appropriate for hot weather. You know, if you've ever used snail mucin, have you noticed that it actually, while it's so juicy and so plumping, it actually has more of like a medium type of feel on the skin. It's not maybe the most lightest weight. And so I really like that phytomucin kind of sidesteps that. It doesn't feel as medium on the skin. It's a lot closer to lightweight, and it doesn't have that balancing element, that slight kiss of moisture. I find that phytomucin just feels like really like a pure hydrating gel type of texture. And that's exactly what Vegreen is bringing to the skin. This just dives so deep into the skin and it really is so replenishing. If you have dehydrated skin, you're gonna love this serum. It's like a drink of water for dehydrated skin, but it's not thick. It's not like moisturizing. It's just pure gel and it feels so replenishing, so good, and never sticky. Next up is an old school summer favorite of mine. This is the 9 Wishes Hydra Perfect Ampoule. And I have to say, I've done a lot of like summer focused serum videos throughout the years, and this always manages to like weasel its way in. And the reason why is it just like, it so delivers. You know what I mean? If I'm talking about like, I love juicy, hydrating textures for hot weather, this really fits the bill, and something that made a big impression on me and really helped me get through a couple summers ago, really helped to replenish my dehydrated skin. So you've got some great skin replenishing ingredients in here like glycerin, coconut water, sodium hyaluronic, and squalane. Now coconut water is one that I really like to single out because it's an ingredient that I found in a couple of other skincare products that really seems to really replenish and really hydrate the skin. I mean, coconut water, the majority of it is just water, right? Which is great. It's a hydrating ingredient, but there is a smaller portion of coconut water that is jam-packed full of so many goodies for the skin, like sugar molecules that really help to bind hydration into the skin. This also does contain a little bit of squalane. There's actually a moisturizing element to this, which can also be helpful when you have dehydrated skin, or if you're like me, dehydrated and combination, where you still are dealing with a little bit of dryness in certain areas on your face, but then you're also dealing with oiliness too. I love squalane because it is a skin identical oil and it is one of the lightest weight oils out there. And when there's just like a little bit in skincare, it doesn't necessarily translate to a greasy, super rich type of quality, but it adds that little bit of moisture that really helps balance out those dry areas without overwhelming the oily areas or resulting in a super thick type of texture. And the texture of the serum is different than the other serums that we've talked about. I'm really building up in like thickness here. So we're kind of getting more into that medium weight category. This definitely still has that gel-like quality, but there's a little bit more body to this. And I wish we had like feel of vision. I wish you could feel this with me. There's a little bit of a slip to this that the other products did not have. A little bit of that slipperiness from the squalane. And so this actually really bursts into hydration on the skin. I mean, if you want to talk replenishing, which has really been a theme throughout all of these products, is that replenished feeling. I mean, hey, I have dehydrated skin. I'm seeking for replenishment, that deep down hydration. This serum definitely has that. But what's really nice about this is that kiss of squalane hugs that deep hydration into the skin. It locks it in place. It says, hey, don't you leave. You need to stay deep down where you belong. You need to keep this skin juicy and hydrated, all while still maintaining, like I said, a slightly more medium kind of feel on the skin. This isn't heavy. The squalane in here isn't so like rich that it's like leaving like a greasiness or like a film on top of your skin. You're gonna get like a little hint of dew on top of your skin, which I personally love in summertime because I'm already gonna be dewy. So like, let's just lean into it a little bit more. Let's make it intentional. But I just really love how this bursts into hydration, but then really just gently hugs that in. That is exactly the quality that you want to look for if you really do suffer with dehydration during the summertime. Transepidermal water loss, we talk about it a lot, like in cooler, colder, drier months, but quite honestly, it can happen a lot in summertime just because the air conditioning is going, and that really dries out the environment, which can in turn dry out your skin. So if you are a little bit more prone to that, you might want to consider a texture like this, a formulation like this. deep hydration, but just that little bit of balancing moisture, just that little bit of hug it in quality that helps fight the transepidermal water loss. Next up, Klairs Fundamental Watery Oil Drop. Let's talk about old school serum picks, right? If you've seen my summer content throughout the years, I often am including this because like I wrote this in my notes, pry it from my cold dead hands. So ingredients, we have bifida ferment extract, which really helps to support the skin barrier. And then we have extracts from rice, green tea, seaweed, licorice, and those are offering a lot of antioxidant benefits to help protect the skin from free radical damage and environmental stressors. And then we also have arginine, which is a natural moisturizing factor. It's also an amino acid that helps to support skin hydration. We have glycerin, which is a good old, hydrating ingredient. I mean, by the way, glycerin, kind of boring. It's in a lot of stuff, but quite honestly, if you're looking for that deep down replenishing feeling, glycerin is often delivering that sensation in skincare products. And then we have sodium hyaluronic, which really helps to bind hydration of the skin and tends to give that kind of plump sensation to skincare products. So a really nice, well-rounded ingredient list here that's really focused on skin health, I would say. We do have 2 peptides in here, acetylhexapeptide 8, which is, as I mentioned, the Botox peptide. It kind of helps to firm up the skin. And then that is matched up with copper tripeptide 1, which is a collagen stimulating peptide targeting fine lines and wrinkles. So this product calls itself a watery oil drop. You will be surprised that there's no oil on the ingredients list because this claims to have oil-like benefits without oil, without the drawbacks of oil, without being too heavy on the skin or too greasy or potentially, clogging the pores or causing congestion. That's really the point of view of this serum, is to give you that oil-like benefit. And that's really translated in the texture, because while this looks quite runny and watery, this has that slipperiness to it. This has that little bit of body to it. And when you work this into your skin, it really feels so hydrating. Wow, hydration bomb, seriously. So hydrating, but this has a moisturization to it. It's really strange because there's not a lot of emolliency in this ingredients list. There is not any oils whatsoever, but this does actually have a slight kiss of richness, a little bit of that balance to it that really does feel like it is hugging in that hydration. So we talked about 9 wishes. This is thicker than that. This is solidly medium weight on the skin. This might feel too heavy. Surprisingly, because it's so runny, this might actually feel too heavy for oily skin, right? So I said I had something in here for everybody. So if you need a little bit more heft to your serum, do consider this one. It is not going to overwhelm the skin. It's not going to be too rich, too greasy. It's not going to sit on top of your skin, but it really just fills the skin with hydration and moisture without being really greasy. And OMG, the plumpness factor on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got the juiciness, but we've also got the bounciness to this. Once this settles into your skin, you won't be able to stop touching your skin because it's going to feel so firm and smooth and kind of lifted and really bouncy. It feels awesome. It makes your skin look so good because there's this little bit of a dewy finish to this that I like I said, lean into it. We're all gonna get a little sweaty and greasy in summertime anyways, right? So lean into it. This gives a little bit of that kiss of dew that is so pretty on the skin. I love shiny skin. I'm just gonna put it out there. I love shiny skin. This gives you that really pretty shiny skin. It actually works really nicely underneath makeup too if you want to do some makeup with this. Either way, I mean, this is so beautiful. It's so balancing. It's that kiss of moisture without overwhelming the skin, and talk about juicy and plumping. This has it all. This is the by Wishtrend Cera-barrier Soothing Ampoule, and this is a creamy serum, but don't let looks deceive you because this really packs a hydration punch. So this formula is all about bringing the moisture and the hydration, and I would say equal amounts in a really nice lightweight texture. I mean, this is totally the serum for people who don't want to skip the juice in their skincare routine. So on the moisture side, we have ceramide NP, squalane, sunflower, and soybean oils, bringing that emolliency into the skin. And then on the hydrating side, we have glycerin, panthenol, glucose, which is a water binding sugar molecule. And that's what's really bringing the hydration factor to this serum. Now we also do have a whole host of peptides. So let's go through them as quickly as we can. Acetyl-hexapeptide 8, Botox peptide, helping to firm up the skin. Copper tripeptide 1, collagen stimulating peptide that targets the fine lines and wrinkles. Palmitoyl pentapeptide 4, also known as Matrixyl, targeting fine lines and wrinkles. Then we have tripeptide 1, which really helps to stimulate collagen production on the skin, but also acts as a carrier peptide for the copper tripeptide 1, helping it to get a little deeper into the skin. Palmitoyl tripeptide 1 and hexapeptide 9 both help to target wrinkles and reduce wrinkle depth. And then finally, nona peptide 1 really helps with skin tone and texture. So look at this creamy emulsion-like texture, because it probably looks quite thick and heavy. But once you start to work this into your skin, you see that this just like becomes this thin, almost watery type of texture on the skin. And it provides deep hydration. I mean, no serum in this video is going to get away with providing just surface level hydration. I mean, we're talking juicy. This is juicy. I was very surprised because I was expecting a very moisturizing, creamy type of product. And this really blew my mind with how deep the hydration was going, how watery it actually feels once you work this into your skin. But then there's that little bit of emolliency. It's not quite like Klairs, which really fills your skin with moisture. This is just like a very, very lightweight emulsion type of moisture. You know what I'm saying? Breathable. It's not occlusive. It's not like pore filling moisture. It's just enough to balance out those little dry areas that you might have on your face. And so this definitely provides moisture. It definitely provides deep hydration, but in a somewhat lighter format than you might be expecting, and it still allows your skin to breathe. So let me know all your favorite juicy skincare picks in the comment box below. And if you watched the video this far, you liked what you saw, but you haven't hit subscribe yet, please take a moment before you go. I would be so honored if you would come join our community. We love K-beauty, we love juicy, hydrating skincare products. So hit subscribe and definitely turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop when I post the new short or the new video. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I love you so, so much. Thanks for being here with me today, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.